working on this thing.
We've got all the lawyers we can get to work for free working on it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So guess how many that is.
Yeah. You do the math. But we're going to do it at Abbott's Grill in Milford. It's going to be on Wednesday evenings, and we just don't know all of the details yet, but we're booked up here almost into June at our Jimmy's Grill show. So I want to remind people, if you don't have a home church, Easter is this Sunday, and I'd like to invite you on out to Eagle's Nest Church in Milton. That happens to be my church.
They're celebrating Easter at your church this year?
They really are. Yeah, 9:30 in the morning. I got plenty of things for kids to do, so if you have infants or toddlers or teenagers or college and career age children, we've got something for everybody. But Easter's a time where a lot of people do like to get together and go to church, and just thought I'd throw it out there if you'd like to join me at Eagle's Nest this Sunday. Also, Saturday night up at Barrett's Chapel, there's some special service going on. The Reminders are going to be there singing. And I don't know exactly who's speaking, and I can't even remember exactly what time it is, but it's 6 o'clock-ish at Barrett's Chapel this Saturday night. So
for sure this Saturday.
Oh, for sure this Saturday. That much I know for sure.
So if you get there at about 9 o'clock in the morning and just wait, something will probably
I'll be there at 5:30 in the afternoon for sure, but I think it's at 6 o'clock or 6:30. I just can't remember for sure.
Okay.
So if you've never been to Barrett's Chapel, it's a quaint little church. They tell me there's no heat there, but I find that real hard to believe.
Did you know that Barrett's Chapel Church is kind of the what do they call it? Like the birthplace of Methodism.
Yes.
Yes.
I did think that. Or
you did know that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, and we want to thank Jimmy's Grill for allowing us to do our show here just week after week after week. We take up this whole side of the restaurant, and they allow us, and they've been real good. So come on down. If you've already eaten dinner, come on down and have dessert or something like that. In fact, I'll tell you what, if you hurry up and get here, I'll buy your dessert. Just for saying you saw it. That's tonight only, and it's not an ongoing thing. In other
so
words,
if they watch this like a year from now?
No, right. What's today's date? I can't even remember. It's the 26th.
March 26th,
2013. If you come to Jimmy's Grill before I leave tonight, I'll buy you dessert. Piece of pie, piece of cake, cookie, whatever you want, okay?
Can I call somebody, have them come, and tell them
they have got to be watching
give the dessert to me?
No, they've got to be watching it. You can't call anybody. You can't bait anybody. And it's not anybody involved with Catch It Live. It's got to be like a brand new.
That's too many exclusions.
A brand new person.
Come on now.
They have to be this tall, this wide, and so on. Okay, I'm going to start with a word of prayer. We're going to get on with the show, okay?
Yes.
Dear Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to gather. We thank you for the break in the weather. No precipitation today. We appreciate that. We thank you for all the good things in our lives. We thank you for sending your son Jesus to die on the cross for our sins. We just pray an anointing on this evening, our words, our actions, our deeds, our thoughts. Keep us safe, keep us healthy. Help our show to be an encouragement to somebody. We just ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break, and our first guest of the evening.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
I was going to talk about the rest of our guests. We forgot to mention all the rest of our guests.
Well, I was waiting on you, so go ahead.
Here okay.
They're all right there.
They're all right there. Dr. T. Dr. Triglia will be here. He is a chiropractor. Has a practice in Seaford?
Yes.
Okay, practice in Seaford. And he's a lot of different things. I know he's something, is it karate or is he?
Some type of martial arts.
I think it might be judo. But anyway, yeah, he's some kind of black belt.
Like he could kick you alongside your head before you realized it happened.
Right. Yeah.
And he doesn't have to move far to do it.
Right. Yeah. Chris Basin from the Inland Bays Center for the Inland Bays is coming. So they've got a lot of neat stuff going on down there, and you know where that is. They're right down there at the Indian River Inlet, right by the bridge there, by the new bridge.
The new bridge.
The new bridge. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Duke Brooks.
Yes.
Is coming on.
Yeah.
Many of you may remember Duke Brooks
Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, Mr. Duke Brooks.
Mr. Duke Brooks.
He was on WGMD for time there as a radio host. He was also involved in politics, pretty big now.
Yeah, he was real involved with Kevin Wade, I think.
Kevin Wade, yes, that's who it was. Kevin Wade, yep.
And he's a good guy, so he's going to be telling us what's going on with Duke Brooks.
Yeah.
Mr. Duke Brooks.
Mr. Duke Brooks.
Mr. Duke Brooks. So we got a lot going on. Stay tuned, if you would. When we take the break, we need you to watch the commercial, but at the exact same time, call a couple people and encourage them to watch the show. We're trying to hit that 1,000 viewer mark. We just keep working on it week after week after week, and we're just can't get there.
If Anthony Joseph would call half his friends and tell them to watch, we'd be over 1,000.
Right. He won't do it, though. He's only got so many minutes on his phone, and he's just not going to burn them all up on Catch It Live. So, All right, folks, we'll be back in just a couple minutes, so stay tuned. Anything else?
That's it. We'll be back.
Okay, we'll be back.
Swing for the fence this softball or baseball season with equipment from All Out Sports in Dagsboro. All Out Sports carries cleats, gloves, and balls, as well as helmets and hats. Pick out the right bat from our large selection that includes Easton, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Rocket Tech, and more. All Out Sports can handle all your sporting goods needs. Stop by to check out our new arriving merchandise or call All Out Sports at 732-1233. That's 732-1233. And be sure to like us on Facebook, All Out Sports, your local choice for sporting goods.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
When a severe storm strikes, don't get caught without power. Rely on a Generac generator from Satterfield and Ryan, your electrical contractors. With a Generac generator, it immediately starts when the power goes out and will shut off when the power comes back on. Satterfield and Ryan sells the finest standby generators from 7 to 150 kilowatts. Satterfield and Ryan is your authorized dealer and repair center for Generac standby generators. Generac is also your source for all your residential, agricultural, and commercial generator needs. Visit Satterfield and Ryan's website at delawaregenerators.net. Now remember, get the job done right the first time.
Abbott's Grill is a sure shot for a great happy hour every Monday through Saturday from 3 to 7 p.m. Tip off your night with freshly shucked oysters from our raw bar for only 50 cents each. Or try a half pound of delicious steamed shrimp for only $6.95. Happy hour also features $4 orange crushes, $2 PBR drafts, and $1 off all draft beers, rail drinks, and house wines. With the best selection of local and national craft beers, 17 screens for sports, and live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights, Abbott's Grill is the place to be for a fun night out with friends. Abbott's Grill, 249 Northeast Front Street in Milford. Gather at the grill. And we're back live at Jimmy's Grill here with Anthony Joseph. We're going to talk some sports. Let's get right to it.
The Spinning Wheels Racing Report.
That's right, the Spinning Wheels Racing Report. And we are going to talk NASCAR.
Yep.
What's happening in the world of NASCAR?
Well, if anybody watched on Sunday, it was the Auto Club Speedway 400. And Kyle Busch, he led 125 laps. And in the last lap, he wasn't leading. But then there was a lot of chaos, and you've probably seen by now on ESPN and CBS and any other media outlet.
Tony Stewart made a new friend, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah.
And Denny Hamlin's not a happy guy. Is on the last lap, they were going at it for the top spot. And Logano wrecked Hamlin. And Hamlin now is he's suffering a broken back. And they're not sure when he's going to return.
I didn't know that. Wow, that's pretty serious. From being spun out, he...
Correct, yes, because at the...
just kind of take us through what happened on that last lap there. What happened? Let's kind of go through it.
Okay, so the last lap, you had Logano, he was leading, and then Hamlin, he was on the right side as Logano had the inner position. And Hamlin, he at that point had the faster car. And he was trying to soar past him, and Logano did not want to lose the lead, so he just wrecked him. He slid over. Like I said, he was on the left, Hamlin was on the right, and then you have the wall, and Hamlin was driving the high side, and he bumped into him, wrecked him, and Logano made out okay as he finished third. Earnhardt Jr. was in second, but Hamlin, he went into the infield, spun his car, and just went into the infield grass, and he just...
who has the broken back?
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin, okay.
Yeah, because first when he spun, when Logano spun Hamlin, he hit part of the wall that did not have a safer barrier.
Okay.
So in turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, they do not have the safer barrier.
What's a safer barrier?
And a safer barrier is a foam, like Dover International Speedway.
Okay.
They spent, I think, over $1 million to have this. It's like a resistant. So when you hit it, it's like a cushion.
Okay, so is this I think they were calling it a soft wall for a while, maybe?
Yes, like a soft
wall. So they'll hit it
wall,
and it actually moves to absorb some of the energy.
Correct.
Okay.
So it really protects you.
So this is he just hit a solid wall.
He hit a solid wall, and he hit it head first. And from there, he spun into the infield. And then from there, he got out, and he
was able to get out with a broken back.
He got out.
Wow.
And they went right to the grass. And from there, they helicoptered him to the hospital in California because the traffic was too bad. So they had to put him on a helicopter, and the EMTs put him on a stretcher and got him to the helicopter. And
wow.
Yeah, you're right. He was very lucky that he could get out with a broken back. At that point, he was just probably running on adrenaline.
Right.
And he didn't know what was going on. He was probably in pain.
Wow. So, we've got a new leader in points?
Yes.
Okay. Who's that?
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Ah. Wow. And Jimmy Johnson is where?
Are we really going to have to talk about JJ?
Yes, we always have to talk about him. As long as we're talking bad about him, that's all that matters.
Well, Brad Keselowski's in second, and Jimmy Johnson's in the third spot.
Okay.
He finished 12th on Sunday in Sonoma, California.
All right. Excellent.
Fontana, excuse me.
Fontana. All right. So, where are they off to next week?
They're off.
They're off? They don't get a week off.
Yes, they do.
What do they get a week off for?
Easter.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to say, I thought you were going to pick that up. But
I know. I'm just messing with you. Okay, well, we'll let them have off for Easter this year.
They usually do.
I know. Okay, so what else we got with NASCAR?
To finish up on Logano,
okay.
He did an interview, and he was talking about Hamlin, and he didn't know that at the time Hamlin had suffered a broken back.
Right.
And he just said that's what he gets because of the previous week where Logano was in second, Hamlin was in third, leading was Gordon. He spun Logano out, and Logano wrecked and tore up his car, and that ruined his day.
Right.
So this week, he was going to retaliate. Now, a lot of people said you shouldn't do it because you're going over 200 miles an hour, and it would be best if you wait in a couple weeks when they're going to be in Martinsville, Virginia, where the speeds are about 180, 180 miles an hour. So it's a lot better. It's a small track, and they just, especially with not having the safer barriers, it's just to protect the drivers from harm. He really kind of needed to be smart and not do anything to Hamlin. Because he would have got second, Hamlin probably would have won the race, and instead, Hamlin's in a hospital really because of the previous week. It didn't show a lot of class on Joey Logano. Now, Penske Racing, Roger Penske, issued a statement, and he said that Logano, he's fine with what happened, but as far as the comments, he said Logano did not know how serious the injury was at the time. Because if not, if he knew, he wouldn't have said that.
Right. Yep, I understand that.
So Logano, at this point, they are not sure when he's going to be able to return.
Okay.
They do have 2 weeks, but they're not sure if he's going to be able to even get in a race car. Probably it could be up to 6 months or even longer.
Could be out for the whole season, possibly.
They're not really sure.
Yeah, it's probably a little too soon to tell until they figure out, because I know a lot of times you have a lot of swelling around it, and they can't tell anything until the swelling goes down some.
So right now he has a break, and that's probably the best thing for him, is he was going to North Carolina and try to move on.
Yeah.
But I would say when he finally heals, Logano probably will be wrecked. And he really deserves it. But he has bigger problems right now than Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
As on the final restart, Joey Logano blocked. He was on the inside, and Stewart was on the inside, and he blocked him. As Stewart was behind him. And Stewart was not very happy, as Logano after the race said, well, he was blocking him, so he would not get past him because he said he was trying to get the lead or maintain the lead, and he wanted to win the race. Stewart was not happy. He did not say very kind words to Logano. Don't expect any Christmas gifts anytime soon. As he said, if Logano ever blocks him again, he will make sure that he wrecks him. And he says he's going to get some revenge on him, probably at Martinsville.
Aha, all right.
So the drama continues.
Tony Stewart, always making friends.
That's why it's called Smoke.
All right, what else? Is that it for NASCAR? We done? Is that all that happened? That's it? Just broken back and a little bit of fighting?
I think that was a lot.
Oh, okay.
Before all that happened, it was on that speed. It's a little boring, not a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
And then at the end, everything just broke loose. As when sponsorship is such hard to come by, you want to win. And that's why Stewart, he was upset. And I mean, that's basically it, because it's all about sponsors. So you have to win. That's my point at that point. So,
no doubt.
That's why tempers are going to flare and everything else, because unless you're Jimmy Johnson and you have Lowe's for the next several years, they don't have long-term contracts.
Right.
So everybody's sweating other than Jimmy Johnson, and that's why they're going to, not be very friendly to one another like they should be, especially with Easter
fighting for every
around
position
the
they
corner.
can get. Yep. All right. What else we got?
Well, football.
Football.
Every week we're talking football. We have to.
Okay.
As the draft is coming up very, very soon.
Okay.
But if you're a Ravens fan, I talked about it last week, you have to be happy and applaud Ossie Newsome as they signed Elvis Dumervil.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Presley. Do the halftime show.
No, he's gone. But
so you say.
I think he is. But after the Ravens won their first Super Bowl, they signed another Elvis.
Okay.
Elvis Gerbach.
Elvis Gerbach.
Yes.
Wow. That's a name from way back.
The former 49er quarterback.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well. But Dumervil, he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. A couple years ago, he had 17 sacks as he was a linebacker, and that's what they're going to use him at. And they really needed him with Paul Kruger now in Cleveland. And if you're a Washington Redskin fan, they're $3 million under the salary cap. And they're looking, I don't know how they're going to afford him, but the free agent Antonio Winfield, defensive back, because they released Angelo Hall.
Okay.
And he was $8 million. So D'Angelo Hall, they had to, since they were up against the cap, they couldn't afford him. So they're looking for bargains, and they're bringing in Winfield, the former Ohio State defensive back.
Okay.
And at this point, they don't, unless he gives them a good price or good deal, they probably won't sign him. So it's probably going to be a last-minute thing. And unless they cut more people, it's they're in financial straits. They're really worse than the Baltimore Ravens.
Not good news.
Because the Redskins do have a big contract. So one comes into mind, Brian Arakpo, the defensive end out of Texas University.
So what else going on in the world of football, NFL? Anything else in NFL?
Well, if you're a Oakland Raider, if you're a fan, we have some.
I don't think there is any. No.
I think we have a few.
Oh, okay.
There's a few of them.
Okay.
Especially when Rich Gannon played.
Yeah, well, I liked him when Rich Gannon played. I like Rich Gannon anyway.
Right, yes. So Carson...
didn't Jerry Rice play when Rich Gannon was there? Didn't he go to Oakland for a little while?
He did, yes.
Yeah, that's right. I did like him then. Yeah.
For a couple years. He wasn't very productive, but...
no, but he was still Jerry Rice.
Yeah, he was still Jerry Rice.
Yep.
The number one receiver all time.
Is he still the number one receiver all time?
As long as you don't ask Randy Moss, because I think it was probably 3 weeks ago, he said Jerry Rice wasn't. He said he was. And there was a debate on ESPN because Jerry Rice is now an analyst, and a lot of them said he is the number one receiver.
Yeah, so.
I mean, Michael Irvin to me comes to mind, as probably the number 2. The former
Now,
Dallas Cowboy.
are we talking numbers, or are we talking just ability and just in personal opinion?
Well, he has a lot of yardage all time.
He does.
And as far as Irvin, more maybe not the yardage, but really just the physical
and big plays.
Big plays, and the Super Bowl rings that they won with Emmitt Smith and also Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
But,
Jerry Rice got a couple Super Bowl rings too.
Right, yeah. And Moss doesn't have the yardage.
Right.
So Moss, that was, I don't know why he said that, but
because he's Jerry Moss, that's why.
and Randy Moss
not
is
Jerry
a
Moss.
free agent. So we'll have to see who signs him.
And maybe he was trying to get somebody to actually believe that was signing him.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the Philadelphia Eagles, they still have some salary cap room.
Still got a little
space.
cash left.
They have some money. So
who are they looking at? Who do you think would fit into there?
Well, John Abraham, he's still out there.
John Abraham, okay.
Dwight Freeney. Freeney from the Colts.
Okay.
He's being looked at by the Broncos because they have a little bit extra room because they did not re-sign Doomerville. And that was just a nightmare. That was the fax issue. And I think Doomerville just wanted to move on as he's going to get over $8 million to play with the Ravens.
All right, we got about 30 seconds left. What else do we need to get in here before we finish up?
Just make sure you tune in tonight. During the commercial breaks at Catch a Live, try to watch some of the Elena Del Don game against UNC. It's the number 6 seed taking on the number 3 seed, UNC, 7 o'clock on ESPN2.
I recommend setting your TiVo for that. Watch Catch It Live, and set your TiVo to record the U of D game, and then start watching when Catch It Live is done.
Oh, okay. That's a better idea.
And then as soon as you get done with that, go back to Catch It Live and look for Anthony Joseph's show that he had on earlier. Who was your guest on earlier?
I had
tonight?
Jerry Kobasa, the head basketball coach for the Wesley Wolverines.
Very interesting stories that he was talking about on there. So some Elena Deladon stuff, and then what's the team that's in Florida team that's still in the
Florida Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast, yeah. And one of the players on there there's a kind of story, Delaware story with him too. So
don't want to give it away. But.
Right. So some interesting stuff. Go back and watch it. Anthony Joseph talked to him and did a really good job.
And next week's guest, we're going to have the baseball coach just right down the street for the Woodbridge Raiders, Jed Bell. So he's going to be on the show as one of the guests.
All right. So that's every Tuesday at 5:30 live here at Jimmy's Grill, Anthony Joseph Sports Show. We're still looking for a name for it. He's going to let us know what it is soon. So that's 5:30 to 6 every Tuesday live here at Jimmy's Grill, and you can always go back and watch it and catch it live later if you want. Right now we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to have Dr. T on, and Jim is going to talk to him about something. I think he's going to show some of his judo. Is it judo? Dr. T, is it judo?
Well, I don't teach judo. I do 4 different martial arts, but not judo.
4 different martial arts, not judo.
I don't have a black belt in judo, but I've taken it.
Okay, but you have a black belt.
The sword and short stick fighting.
I'm going to let him sell you that when he gets back. We'll be right back after this.
Do you have metal? Get it to Fitzgerald's Salvage and Recycling. Fitzgerald's pays you cash. Fitzgerald's will pick up your unwanted vehicles and will buy your car or lawnmower batteries. If it's made of metal, Fitzgerald's pays cash and recycles it, which helps the environment. Fitzgerald's will also pick up and deliver roll-off dumpsters, and they accept electronics too, including cell phones and computers. Fitzgerald's is local and family-owned since 1935. Go to fitzgeraldsonline.com or find us on Facebook.
When owning an Echo product, you will discover it's about innovation, not limitation. Southern States in Milford has your complete line of Echo chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers. At Southern States in Milford, try the PB250 blower with a 2-stroke engine, a locking latch that keeps the tube securely connected, and a rotational control which makes it easier to handle and reduce the stress on the operator's arm. Best of all, the power equipment is backed with a 5-year consumer warranty. Stop by Southern States in Milford at 7308 Williamsville Road or call 422-8066.
Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Weller's in Allendale and Bridgeville, talking to you about this energy-efficient eye heater. For only $177, you can get a heater that will heat 1,000 square feet on just pennies a day. So if you need some cheap heat, come on into Weller's in Allendale or Bridgeville. Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Weller's in Bridgeville and Ellendale, talking to you today about carports. We sell carports. They include delivery and setup right to your yard. You can get a 12 by 21 for as little as $695. Give us a call or come see us today.
Hey, this is Colin Walls of Walls Service Center in downtown Milford, letting you know we do all types of auto repairs, including brakes, struts and shocks, tune-ups and timing belts, and we specialize in custom exhausts. We've been in this business since 1958, so we understand what our customers' needs are. So if you're looking for a new repair shop, come to the old repair shop, Walls Service Center, Front Street in downtown Milford.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
Hey, everybody. Jim Weller here. We are live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville. I don't know if you can smell the food or not. We have installed smeller vision. And some people say, oh, well, no wonder. All right, but anyway, they have got an unbelievable salad bar here. They have got really good dumplings. They've got the best fried chicken in Delaware, from what I hear. And I want to introduce my good friend, Dr. T, Dr. Triglia. Is that correct?
Trillia, yes.
Trillia. I was close. So
Close.
Sure you
Spelled Triglia, pronounced Trillia. That's how I end up with Dr.
Really?
T.
Okay.
See, it's just easier.
A little easier.
My grandmother said it's Italian. She said, and everybody's too lazy to say about the G being a silent. So that's how I ended up with Dr. T.
Very good. Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm a doctor of chiropractic.
Okay.
Been in the wellness industry for over 30 years.
Okay.
So we tied everything together in wellness. We've done fitness programs for people. We do martial arts. We have our office. We have therapists. We have about a dozen people work with us at the office. So health and wellness has sort of been my game for about 30 years and what I teach and do and discuss.
Well, very good. And your business is where?
Seaford, Delaware.
Right on the highway?
Right on the highway, Peninsula Chiropractic Center. If you're going south, if you've seen the Ark Church, it's almost across from that.
Right.
And if you're coming north, just past Hertrick, about a quarter of a mile. And I have a 4-foot spine mailbox. So I tell people, if you miss that, you need to go on down to the Halpern for eyeglasses and get that. So that's where we are.
All right, and so you have a business there, a wellness center, more or less.
Yes, sir.
And you deal more with is it called the manipulation of the spine?
Adjustment, yes.
Adjustment of the
Some call it
spine.
manipulation, but yes, we term it adjustment.
I always seem to relate chiropractic to, I probably said it with Dr. Horsley. Mm-hmm. It's like a front end alignment. You know, you can get down the road with your car out of alignment, but your tires are going to wear a little choppy. It's going to not be so smooth. And
see, the funny thing is about that, too, and that's what we try, because people say, well, how do I know when I need to come in? I mean, I feel pretty good. And again, because the model has been, we think it's healthcare, but the model's really been sickness care, Jim. People don't go to the doctor unless they have a symptom. Mm-hmm. And in many cases, we've tried to teach people that in the wellness end, the symptom many times comes at the end. For example, if you have a massive heart attack today, you weren't 100% fine yesterday. It's been coming on. I tell people, they say, well, why should I come in if I feel well? I say, well, why should you exercise if you feel well?
That's true, right.
You know, why should you go to the dentist before you have your first cavity? Why should you just not wait to exercise till you have your first heart attack? So it's changing the thinking of prevention. And again, I'm not anti-drugs or surgery. I've had 5 orthopedic surgeons work in my office with me over the years. I believe there's a time and place for drugs and surgery. And those people 25 years ago who didn't know who I was or what we did have probably now, those group of GPs and MDs and orthos refer me as many patients as anybody else does today because of that reciprocation, understanding that there's only one God and it's none of us.
Right.
That's why I made a deal with the Lord a long time ago. They asked me, what do I heal? I tell them absolutely nothing. I said, really? I said, no, I made a deal. I move the bone. He does the healing. Works out great.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, and it works out perfect. And yes, that's what we do. Structure has a direct link to function. Regardless if it's your automobile, your front end could be knocked out of alignment today, but you may not know it. Mm-hmm. Steering wheel may not vibrate yet, nothing may be wrong, but it may start 5,000 miles down the road.
Right.
That's when people then correct it, but if they had someone checking it earlier on the proper machine, they would know. You wouldn't
and they'd have had a smoother ride.
Smoother ride. And your tires are going to last longer, and your vehicle. You wouldn't build a building, be it a little shack or a Empire State Building, on a bad foundation. Structure has a direct link to function, no different in the body.
Wow. Now, what about martial arts? Where do they play a role?
Well, I got involved I'm a local guy. I was born and raised, literally born in a house in Delmar, Jim.
Okay.
And
on the Delaware or the
on
Maryland?
the Delaware side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Delaware guy through and through. Depends on who you ask. My mom said my dad was too cheap to take me to the hospital.
Okay.
And my dad said my mom had me too soon, he couldn't get me there. So it depends on who you ask. Went to Delmar High School, graduated, and then went on to Del Tech, and I was heading toward, I thought something in the healthcare industry. I did not know anything about chiropractic at that point in time, good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay.
So from there, Uncle Sam was going pretty good, so I decided to enlist. I went in to try to get in the medical field. It was full. So they talked to me about military intelligence, so I got involved in the Army Security Agency. We were cleared for top secret crypto work, and after all my schooling, I went on to southern Japan. That's where one of my stations was.
Okay.
Pardon me. At that point in time, I was playing on the Army football team. I was very, very blessed. Had a great, great tour of duty. I was on the Army theater group. I was on the Army football team, the racquetball team. I worked for Uncle Sam some point in time also. And for the first football season, one of my buddies said, hey, you like to stay in shape and you like the fitness, why don't you come join the martial arts? Well, one of the gentlemen asked me, I think it was you earlier, about judo, and I'd studied a little judo when I was in Boston. And I had this little guy throw me halfway across this room, and I said, I don't think that's for me. So when I went to Japan, they said, do you want to get involved in the martial arts? And I said, probably not. But I walked in, Jim, an auditorium of about 60 guys, about 40 Japanese and about 20 Americans on our base team. And I watched them do this thing called a kata. It was a fighting form as if you fight off many different opponents in many different directions that you do by yourself. And the precision was incredible. Everybody moved together at one count. And I thought, if anybody can teach me how to move with that much grace and poise, because I have 2 left feet, as big as I am, I said, I got to find out about this. So that's why I started studying the martial arts, and then therefore received my black belt in karate.
By being in the Army?
By being in the Army and stationed in southern Japan.
Okay.
And we got to study there. So I was very, very blessed to be able to do that.
Wow. That is very fortunate, isn't it?
Yes. And then karate simply means, in its simplest form, empty hand fighting. That's what karate means. So to that, because I wanted to keep the arts pure, the head instructor for the U.S. Was stationed in North Carolina. And over the years, then we started teaching Aikido also, which is the locks, throws, holds. The difference would be if you've ever seen Chuck Norris, that's karate. The blocks, punches, kicks. If you've ever seen Steven Seagal, that's the Aikido, where we use your body's force against itself. So I studied that, and then I studied the sword. And then I studied a thing called Kodachi, which is short stick fighting and long stick fighting. So I ended up getting my black belt in all 4 different martial arts.
Wow.
So we wanted to teach them distinctively, each one. So, but I started with karate, and that's my main thing, and that's what we earned our 6th degree black belt in karate.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And so you teach this to people?
We did up to last year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I lost a very good friend of mine at a very young age due to a thing called frontal temporal dementia. My partner, Gary Sheets, one of the greatest and finest men, and I spoke at his funeral, and I made the statement that I thought God sent him to me as one of my students, and he did. But the reality was he taught me much about life and about God and gave me a strong Christian foundation. And because of that, because of my schedule doing so many things, I counted on him helping me to teach. Mm-hmm. And so I have one other partner that we're discussing reopening again, but because of my schedule, I just can't be there every night. I didn't think it was fair to the students for me to have to be gone a month. They come in and train and blah, blah, blah. So right now we're on a hiatus.
Okay. All right. Now, what other things do you, like at your business, do you do massages?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And how would you describe a massage? In other words, like a lot of people
have a bad connotation.
Yeah. So how does chiropractic and massage go together?
Well, let's back up to the premise first of a doctor of chiropractic. The average person, first of all, has no idea that chiropractic school and medical school is the same length of time. I'd be willing to bet you if 1,000 people called in, 90% would not know that.
You go to college or school the same amount of time as just a regular medical doctor? Really?
No, actually, no, we don't. We actually go about 500 hours more than a GP.
Really?
Yes. So I need to set that foundation. And so what's the difference? The difference is, and I'm sure there's some of this redundant, Dr. Horsley's been over it with you, but as the educational process goes down, when you get to the diagnosis, after the diagnosis, medicine has 3 basic ways of helping you. To either give you a drug, inject you, or cut you.
Okay.
Those are the 3 basic ideas, give or take, but that's basically what they do. Chiropractic goes down to the diagnosis and said, basically, God made the body to heal itself. We just do stupid stuff throughout life that screws it up.
Okay.
You know, we overeat, we underexercise, we have stress. Surf. Was ever in an 8-mile-an-hour car accident or greater? Do they drink enough water? Do they eat the proper foods? All these things create stressors in the body. It can be good stress. It can be bad stress. But stress in the body. So if the structural function or the structure of the body is the spine, holds everything together, it houses the central nervous system. That nervous system
Okay.
Our girls in our office, and I'm not saying for every doctor's office, but ours, they must have 600 hours to work with me.
Wow.
They must have their
In massage therapy.
massage therapy. They have to be certified, and they must have their state and national boards to be recognized for me to include them in what I do. Because the difference is, I will go in and let's say your neck and shoulder and upper back are what's really tight. They're going to go in and they're going to start light, but they're going to go in and find the belly of that muscle and try to break up that muscle fiber.
It feels like they're pushing on a marble.
That's exactly right. And we want to get rid of the marbles.
Where do they go?
They dissipate into the body.
So it's like a knot under your skin.
It's like a knot under the skin. And that muscle that's nice and supple has drawn up very tightly. So what she's trying to do is trying to relax that muscle so it flattens it out. And so your, let's say the back muscles are more even. We're trying to balance again the structure again. So it helps my adjustment hold longer, because I say massage therapy is absolutely worthless if the structure is not balanced first.
Okay.
Now conversely, I don't like to do chiropractic without some type of therapy, be it heat, TENS, ice, whatever we feel we need that day, ultrasound, IFC, whatever we need, traction, whatever we need, because the body is so interlinked. Do you remember that old song, hip bone connected to the leg bone? Mm-hmm. Very true. I mean, you can be having a foot problem and end up with neck and shoulder problems.
Really?
Because your gait has changed and your body is compensating because of that foot problem. And because of that, all of a sudden now you have neck and shoulder problems.
Sometimes after an adjustment, I feel like it hurts more.
Yes.
After the adjustment for like a day or so.
Yes. Have you ever worked out heavy?
Yeah.
And have you ever been sore the next day?
Right.
Well, but what happens if you work out that way for 3 times a week for a month? Then are you as sore? Usually not.
Okay.
And so what begins to happen is, for most of us, the subluxation we speak of, the misalignment of the body. The misalignment did not happen yesterday. It may have been in there for years. The muscle is retraining. Let's just take your long hair for a minute.
Okay.
Okay? Let's supposing you've been parting that long hair on the left side of your head now for 20 years.
Okay.
And now you want that long hair parted on the right side. You can wet it down and you can comb it over, but once it dries, it's going to say, hey, dude, I've been on this side parted for a long time, and it's going to try to go back.
Okay.
The muscles do the same thing in the body. It's called muscle memory. The body says, hey, dude, you fell off that horse at 19 years old. You took a lot of pain pills and the pain went away, but no one ever corrected the problem. And so now Dr. T comes in 20 years later, because I imagine you're around 39, that would put it close to right. Then I would adjust that, but the muscle's saying, hey, dude, I've been over here for a long time and out of place. I want to stay there. And I'm saying, me and Jim are going to work together. I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to give him exercises to do at home. that I'm pretty sure your wife does a lot better than you do, but at least like I told her, I feel better that I tell you. So that's what's happening with the muscle, and then we relax that muscle and get it back into place.
Wow. Chiropractic can even help with like colds.
Yes. Again, we cure nothing. But what we do is we believe the body is made to heal itself. So what we do, let's just take congestion in the lungs, for example. Those nerves from the middle back innervate, give energy to the lungs. So let me ask you this. Would you rather have 100% of that nerve energy go into the lung and your heart, or just 40%? So like people say, why do you have to adjust me full spine? I answer them back. You tell me which vertebra and which nerve you don't want working 100%, and I won't adjust that. So yes, it can help the body heal itself.
So if a person has never been to a chiropractor,
Yes.
What do? They call, make an appointment, and you
Yes,
do
sir.
like an initial consultation.
Yes, we do.
To analyze what's what or whatever.
Correct.
As odd as this sounds,
Yes.
my wife goes to you, and she went for something pertaining to her back.
Mm-hmm.
But she had like a knot on the back of her neck.
Yep.
Kind of looked like the back of your fist, not huge.
Right, no.
And now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had it for years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was just like an added bonus of chiropractic
Sure.
care. So in other words.
And what happens is, Jim, if you can just hold up your hand flat like this a minute. Okay, now look right here at these knuckles. You can barely see them. But let's
Okay.
pretend this is your head and you're looking at me. Okay? Now watch what happens when your head goes forward and down. Do these knuckles
Okay.
get bigger or smaller?
Yeah, they look like they're
they
sticking out.
Exactly. And so what happens a lot of times is people walk with a chin jut forward. So they have this 10-pound bowling ball on top of a pencil.
Is that what a head weighs?
Depends. My wife tells me mine's more like 24 pounds. So I've got a very large head.
A big ego.
Yeah, she gets into all that too. She keeps me very humble. So it depends on the person in the head. But everything's in ratio. So as big as my head is, I have a thicker neck. Your wife's head's very small.
Thicker
She has a
muscles,
smaller,
too.
small, yes. But so if your chin is not directly over your chest, when your head juts forward and or down, working on computers, on the phone, reading paperwork, anytime you fall asleep in a chair, I know no one out there ever does that, falls asleep in the chair, you have, when your chin's over your chest, you have a normal reverse curve of the neck that looks like this. So when you fall asleep, your head falls down, it decreases and reverses the normal curve, which can increase this. Now, a lot of people don't do what your wife did. She's very, very good at not only keeping her adjustment and getting her massages and therapy, but she also is very religious about trying to do some of these exercises I give her at home. The more you can do that, the longer the adjustment holds. Now, I've seen people come into me in their 70s with that, and what has happened is, unfortunately, they tell me their pain only started 4 to 6 months earlier, but when I x-ray them, Jim, if you could look, if this is a vertebra and this is a vertebra, they start growing these bone spurs because they've been injured at 19 or 20. Wow. No one ever corrected it. And the final draw, if you've seen these old people walking hunched over, those vertebrae literally can grow together, and it's called ankylosing spondylosis. They lock together. No one short of God can move it, and even when they pass, sometimes they have to break those to straighten them back up. But see, the problem is the pain only started 4 to 6 months before they saw me, but that takes 20 to 30 years to create.
Wow. All right. How do people reach you?
They can call us at our office at
Okay.
629-4344. That's a 302 area code.
629-4344.
4344. And Jim, for your audience today,
Okay.
if anyone does call in, I want to give not one, but 2 special gifts.
Okay.
The first one is the thing you asked me. How do I know I need chiropractic, or can it help me? What I'm willing to do is give our initial consultation, not the evaluation, but if you call in and say, I was on Jim's show, they can come into my office and I will do an introductory consultation with them, finding out what they have and what their problem is, and let them know whether or not we can help them.
Wow.
Number 2, if they call in and say they're from your show, we have another wonderful piece of equipment called a hydro bed. It's massage therapy on water, and it's a
Really?
$50 value. I've not put you on it, Jim. You're too short. I'm afraid you'll drown. No, I'm just kidding. There's no, you don't get wet at all.
Lincoln man drowns in hydro.
In the hydro table and Dr. Diesel. No, it's very nice. It's covered. I mean, you stay dressed just like you are. You lie on this, and it's water massage of the back.
Really?
It feels all. Make sure I put you on that next time you come in.
Okay.
I want you to try that. But it's a $50 value, and I'm willing to give your viewers today a complimentary consultation if they need it, and a complimentary $50 hydrotherapy session if they call and say they were.
That's mighty generous.
Hey, thank you for having me. And again, it's 302-629-4344.
Is there a website?
PeninsulaCairo.com.
Okay.
PeninsulaCairo.com.
Okay. And maybe we put an expiration date to that offer, end of April?
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
2013. End of April,
yeah,
2013.
Got to be very specific. And it's our Easter present to everybody out there. And make sure you get to church and have a blessed Easter this year.
You're very involved with Crossroads?
Yes, sir.
That's your church?
I love Crossroads. I've had tremendous blessing. Been there a little over 7 years, and just very humbled about how the Word is opening up to me and giving me even a deeper understanding. So I'm very blessed by Pastor Rick and everybody there.
They've done a good job in our community.
They have done a wonderful job, as have many churches, and I'm glad to see that. I'm glad I'm teaming together. I'm working together. So that's very exciting for me to see. I've longed to see. I don't really like religion, but I love to see the relationship. As our pastor says, I want to see what happens in those 7 days between the time you're there and the time you get back.
Not just the hour or two you're at church.
That's relationship to me.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to take a break. I'm going to say we're probably done with Dr. T for tonight.
Excellent.
Okay?
Thank
you. But thank you for coming, and I appreciate your friendship and your commitment to health and wellness and taking care of your customers and your patients.
Anytime. Thank you for your time.
All right, folks, we're going to be back in just a minute with our next guest, so stay tuned.
Offense this softball or baseball season with equipment from All Out Sports in Dagsboro. All Out Sports carries cleats, gloves, and balls, as well as helmets and hats. Pick out the right bat from our large selection that includes Easton, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Rocket Tech, and more. All Out Sports can handle all your sporting goods needs. Stop by to check out our new arriving merchandise or call All Out Sports at 732-1233. That's 732-1233. And be sure to like us on Facebook, All Out Sports, your local choice for sporting goods.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
When a severe storm strikes, don't get caught without power. Rely on a Generac generator from Satterfield and Ryan, your electrical contractors. With a Generac generator, it immediately starts when the power goes out and will shut off when the power comes back on. Satterfield and Ryan sells the finest standby generators from 7 to 150 kilowatts. Satterfield and Ryan is your authorized dealer and repair center for Generac standby generators. Generac is also your source for all your residential, agricultural, and commercial generator needs. Visit Satterfield and Ryan's website at delawaregenerators.net. And remember, get the job done right the first time.
Abbott's Grill is a sure shot for a great happy hour every Monday through Saturday from 3 to 7 p.m. Tip off your night with freshly shucked oysters from our raw bar for only 50 cents each. Or try a half pound of delicious steamed shrimp for only $6.95. Happy hour also features $4 orange crushes, $2 PBR drafts, and $1 off all draft beers, rail drinks, and house wines. With the best selection of local and national craft beers, 17 screens for sports, and live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights, Abbott's Grill is the place to be for a fun night out with friends. Abbott's Grill, 249 Northeast Front Street in Milford. Gather at the grill.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
Hungrier by the minute. I wanted to introduce a good friend of mine, Duke Brooks. Good evening and welcom to Catch It Live.
Good evening, Jim. Good
How
to
you
see
been?
you, pal. I've been great. How about you?
I got to be honest, I'm doing okay, but the beard really fits you well. It really looks good.
I'm not growing a beard. I just forgot to shave this morning.
Okay, well. political season.
Yep.
You worked with Kevin Wade, I believe.
Absolutely, still am.
Okay, still are, and you're very involved in just the Republican Party in general.
Absolutely. I'm the spokesman for our Sussex Republican Committee here in the
okay.
county, and I also have an elected position as first of the 14th. That's first election district of the 14th rep district.
Must be where you live.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what a coincidence. It was incredible.
How they work that out?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, when they redistrict, I didn't even have to move.
Yeah,
I didn't even have to move. I
Really?
stayed right where I was, and I was still the same.
Wow.
You know, some things like that. So, yeah, that's primarily what I'm doing now. I do a lot of blogging, and I'm also program director of an internet radio network.
And what's that called?
That is called conservativenationradio.org.
ConservativeRadioNation.org.
Conservative Nation Radio.
Okay, Conservative Nation
Radio.org.
Okay.
And we're on the air Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours at a time.
So how does somebody listen to this? They just go on the internet?
Just go to the internet, conservativenationradio.org.
Keep it under their favorites.
And exactly, absolutely. And just tune in and listen. If you liked Radio Free Delmarva on WGMD, you'll love Radio Free America.
Do you take callers?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
Yeah. We were discussing a fellow who called last Monday night and, you know, actually said that Republicans are all going to burn, and he was very much anti-Republican. I don't understand that because I've been a conservative Republican since I was 5 when I first realized what I thought, you know, and I just don't see how anyone could look at any of the liberal positions and say these make sense, they're logical, they are reasonable, and they're safe. I don't see how anybody could look at that and come to that conclusion.
Unless they had their eyes and ears closed.
That would be the low
never left their
information
house.
voter. Yeah, I mean, we're plagued with low information voters. I mean, now the president's health care plan financially is beginning to catch up with a lot of people, and a lot of people are saying, well, wait a minute, this isn't what I wanted. Well, yeah, what you wanted was so that everything would be free.
Right.
There is no such thing as free.
It's coming from somewhere,
exist.
right?
It's coming from somebody.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's not something you just vote in.
No, that's
a
correct.
reality.
I mean, yeah.
So you do the blogging.
Oh, yes.
You do this show. I guess you would call it just an everyday show, basically.
On Monday night, I'm on the air, and we have
so people
about
call
5 other
in?
hosts. Absolutely. It's just like the good old days.
Really?
Every Monday night at 7 o'clock, conservativenationradio.org, called Radio Free America.
So people are calling in from all over the United States?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Texas, I've had California.
And you do it, though, in Sussex County?
Absolutely. You can. I mean, nowadays, almost anybody can be an internet radio host. All you need is a computer and a microphone.
Okay.
You know, and internet access, and you're all set.
You're good to go.
It's gonna change everything. But I will say, since I've been program director, listenership is up 1,000%. It's up tenfold since I came in the middle of December.
So your experience. And
well, I'd like to think it maybe plays a role, because what I did is I made everybody sound like a radio station.
Okay.
Before that, it just sounded like people chatting over their back fence.
Okay.
And people that are used to talk radio are not necessarily going to want to listen to that. They're going to want a structure. They're going to want to hear some commercials and things at different times.
Okay.
So
they like to hear a joke every 7 minutes, I'm told.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what my pastor tells me.
Yeah, you don't want to hear my jokes. I can tell you that.
So what's the hot topic?
I think the hot topic is that the way I look at it, as a nation, we really need to begin facing some political and financial realities. And I think a lot of people are simply not paying attention. You know what's going on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, right?
I got to be honest.
Okay, all right.
I watch no news. I read no newspapers.
Well, you're probably a lot healthier for that.
I focus on what I can control today.
That's
so
a
I'm really
way of doing it. But Cyprus is a nation island.
Okay.
Small island in the eastern part of the Mediterranean. I think if you drew a line from Israel to Athens, it would be somewhere around that line.
Okay.
it has been in the possession of the Greeks and the Turks. They have been fighting over it for hundreds of years. But now it is an independent nation, and what they are doing is, because they have a socialist government, now their government is saying, we may have to simply reach out and touch your bank account to the tune of 40% of what's in it to pay for our government's bills. Really? And during the last week that this has been on the table, the banks have been closed. There's been a bank holiday there.
So people can't reach in and take all their money out.
Exactly. They can't reach in and take any money. I think they can take 100 drachmas a day or whatever it is.
Really?
But one of the issues is that Cyprus has very lax banking laws, and Russian organized crime uses the island's accounts to launder their money. And however, now they're talking about taking that from everybody. My fear, that everybody that's got a bank account in Cyprus, my fear is that our government one day will say, gee, you know what?
It worked there.
It worked for the Cypriots. Why don't we do it? You know, I mean, and that's a very serious problem.
Not an unimaginable thought.
It is not unimaginable. And I mean, you know, if you look all through history, Jim, you see that governments will do whatever they think they can do. And, I mean, it could be putting 6 million innocent people into ovens. But governments will do whatever they feel like doing. Okay? In the case of China, starving 60 million people to death. I mean, you know, governments will do this sort of thing. And when you have a government where the people in it get reelected over and over, and they get focused on power, and they get focused...
And they're not being reelected based on performance.
They're being reelected based on name recognition, almost entirely. And when you have those people there for long enough, they begin to feel like they really don't answer to anybody. And it takes something pretty extreme to dislodge them. I mean, Dick Lugar certainly would have been reelected if it hadn't been for the fact that it came out before the election that he no longer had any kind of residence back home in Indiana at all. And this caught up with him, and finally they tossed him out. And, you know, the Senator Lugar was a good guy, but he had just been there for too long. There are good Republicans that I think they've been there for too long.
There's nothing wrong with growing roots. You just don't want to become a stump.
That's exactly correct.
Yep. Okay, hold tight. We're gonna take a commercial break. We're going to be back again with Duke Brooks. If you would like to come on down to Jimmy's Grill, get in your vehicle and come on down. You can watch the show in person, and I will buy you dessert tonight only. March 26, 2013. That's a tonight-only offer. Anyway, we'll be right back after a couple commercials. Hold tight.
Do you have metal? Get it to Fitzgerald Salvage and Recycling. Fitzgerald's pays you cash. Fitzgerald's will pick up your unwanted vehicles and will buy your car or lawnmower batteries. If it's made of metal, Fitzgerald's pays cash and recycles it, which helps the environment. Fitzgerald's will also pick up and deliver roll-off dumpsters, and they accept electronics too, including cell phones and computers. Fitzgerald's is local and family-owned since 1935. Go to fitzgeraldsonline.com or find us on Facebook.
When owning an Echo product, you will discover it's about innovation, not limitation. Southern States in Milford has your complete line of Echo chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers. At Southern States in Milford, try the PB250 blower with a 2-stroke engine, a locking latch that keeps the tube securely connected, and a rotational control, which makes it easier to handle and reduce the stress on the operator's arm. Best of all, the power equipment is backed with a 5-year consumer warranty. Stop by Southern States in Milford at 7308 Williamsville Road or call 422-8066.
Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Weller's in Allendale and Bridgeville, talking to you about this energy efficient eye heater. For only $177, you can get a heater that will heat 1,000 square feet on just pennies a day. So if you need some cheap heat, come on into Weller's in Allendale or Bridgeville. Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Weller's in Bridgeville and Allendale, talking to you today about carports. We sell carports. They include delivery and setup right to your yard. You can get a 12 by 21 for as little as $695. Give us a call or come see us today.
Hey, this is Colin Walls of Walls Service Center in downtown Milford, letting you know we do all types of auto repairs, including brakes, struts and shocks, tune-ups and timing belts, and we specialize in custom exhausts. We've been in this business since 1958, so we understand what our customers' needs are. So if you're looking for a new repair shop, come to the old repair shop, Walls Service Center, Front Street in downtown Milford.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Weller here. We are live at Catch It Live in Bridgeville, Delaware at Jimmy's Grill. Duke Brooks is my guest right now. I do want to ask you, what'd you have for dinner?
I had the Jimmy's Grill Tuesday special, which is all-you-can-eat spaghetti and salad bar for $5.95.
Isn't that a deal?
Unbelievable. Not only was it delicious, but in this day and age, it was priced right. No question about that.
Very good value.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about nowadays.
Yep. We got a lot of things going on in our political arena, I guess, the political climate. Delaware's working on repealing the death penalty.
Yeah, I understand that just passed the Delaware Senate. And, you know, my own, and I'm speaking now as your buddy, not as the spokesman for the Sussex Republican Committee, because we don't have any specific positions on many of these issues.
Okay.
We're a local county level.
Right.
But it seems to me that the death penalty is one of those things that has to be applied only under very, very specific conditions. It can't be, you know, just kind of willy-nilly.
Right.
I mean, we know that because there's no way you can undo the damage if you're wrong. That having been said, there are some crimes and there are some criminals that cry out for the death penalty. And there are some people out there that will do things to other people that are so horrific and so intolerable that in many cases the only thing that society will accept is the ultimate sanction. And under those circumstances, when there is no doubt about it, and when the circumstances are particularly awful and intolerable, a message has to be sent. You know, people often say, well, the death penalty doesn't deter anybody from committing murder. Well, if that's the case, what does that say about all the lesser penalties like 5 to 10 years, 90 days, 25 years? You know, what does it say about those things? But the fact of the matter is, the death penalty actually does deter crime, and it deters murder amongst people who are otherwise reasonable and rational people.
Correct.
Almost any human being can lose their temper. Almost any human being can make a snap judgment that later they will regret. I mean, this happens all the time. But the fact of the matter is, the reasonable person, people like you and I, we get angry. We're human beings. Everybody is. I mean, I could imagine circumstances that would be horrible, that I might come home one day and, you know, find somebody in there who doesn't belong in there. Rational, reasonable people are deterred. Okay, the irrational and the unreasonable people, it doesn't matter what the punishment is. They're going to do whatever they feel like doing at that moment anyway. So there's not much you can do about them.
But there does need to be some kind of an ultimate.
There really does.
Punishment.
Yeah, there really does. I mean, there was a case in Connecticut a couple of years ago where these two guys came to a physician's house. He was home with his wife and his two daughters, and they forced the wife to drive them to the bank to withdraw a lot of money. The police did show up, but they killed the wife. They raped and killed both of the daughters. They tried to kill the doctor, but he escaped. They caught them both. That kind of a crime, I'm sorry. You know, when you do something like that, you're not going to, no.
We don't need to keep feeding you.
You better believe it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's some other hot topics?
You heard about Amanda Knox Amanda Knox was this American girl who went to Italy as an exchange student several years ago. Very pretty, very attractive, speaks Italian, and apparently she and either one or two of her roommates were present when one of the other roommates or a friend of theirs died, in some kind of a strange fetishy scenario or something. I don't even know what the details are, but she was arrested, put on trial, and was in jail in Italy for a year and a half or something pending trial. When the trial happened, she was acquitted. All right? Now, the difference between America, one of the differences between, now I like my country better than any other country, is that in this country, if you're put on trial and you are acquitted, that's it. There's no double jeopardy. You can't be. However, in many of the European countries, the prosecution can appeal an acquittal, and then the courts will force you to come back and stand trial again. Now, earlier this morning, I heard people talking about extraditing Amanda
she's back
Knox
in the United
because
States
she's
now.
back in Washington State with her family where she lives. And I heard some people making phone calls to talk radio stations on the way in here, and earlier today, talking about the idea that, well, if the Italian courts order her to go back, she has to go back. That's all there is to it. Well, if someone in Italy had been indicted on capital murder charges in the U.S., for something they had done in America, maybe they fled to Italy or they fled to Canada or they fled to any of the other enlightened Western countries, those countries would not extradite the person to the U.S. because we have the death penalty here, especially if it was Texas or Florida or Alabama or Missouri or something where they have more streamlined procedures for. However, in this case, I mean, if they do demand that she be brought back, if I were the State Department, I would say I don't think so because you don't believe in the death penalty and we don't believe in double jeopardy, so you're not going to get her back because you've already had your one bite of the apple, and as far as we're concerned, that's it. That would be my outlook on it, but, I'm not in charge at Foggy Bottom, so what are you going to do? John Kerry
I'd be a little nervous.
From what I heard today, she's actually not going to have to go back there. She can be tried in absentia, essentially. We've got to get John Brady in here to explain all these legal terms.
He's very intelligent.
Oh, extremely. But I certainly hope that she is not reconvicted. That would be un-American, in my view.
Wow. What else you got going on?
Now that the weather's getting better, I think I want to go flying again. You
fly a helicopter?
Well, I mostly flew a helicopter, but I have a small airplane.
Do you really?
Yeah, the airplane is in Pocomoke City, Maryland.
Okay.
I haven't flown it in a year and a half. My partner Randy and his cousin Jim have been flying it, and that's all right because they're both competent pilots.
Running.
Yeah, and they're both competent airmen, so
Okay.
That's fine. It's just I think this spring it's time for me to go down there and go flying again.
Wow. And when you flew helicopters, what did you do with that?
I was reporting traffic on radio stations.
So you flew the helicopter
and reported.
Talking at the same time?
Absolutely, sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that, because you're using your hands and your feet.
It's not that, it's, the reason a lot of people would say to me, oh, you can't do that. And my reaction was always, why do you think that? What they didn't know is that from the time I was 12 years old, the only thought that I had in my head pretty much all the time was, I'm going to fly a helicopter and be on the radio at the same time. That's,
so
from
when
the
you're
time
flying
I was
this
12.
helicopter, your feet are working, your hands are working, your brains are working, and you're doing
I don't know about that.
And doing the news. What
well,
are you doing?
It's
weather?
Reporting the traffic.
Okay.
Reporting the traffic.
So traffic jam here.
Absolutely.
Weller's has got another load of trailers coming in over here.
Yeah, exactly. But I do have some good news. I just saved a bunch of money on car insurance.
There you go.
That sort of thing.
Because you're buying helicopter insurance.
Yeah, which was expensive. But The interesting thing is it's very hard to learn how to fly a helicopter because the hovering requires extremely small control movements and very good reflexes and seat of the pants. Yeah, it takes a long time. It looks very easy. The helicopter comes in and it just kind of stops, and then but to learn how to do that takes a long time, a lot of concentration, a lot of trial and error. You're with an instructor, but you still have to learn how to do it yourself. Well, once you know how to do it, flying a helicopter is not particularly difficult.
Really? You
just have to stay in front of it all the time.
And I went in one time, and where you put your feet was like glass.
Yeah.
And it just made me nervous.
Whereabouts?
They landed at Bridgeville and picked.
Okay.
And then we flew over my properties and took pictures.
See. Oh, I got you. Okay.
It was a surprise.
Right. Oh, very
I didn't
fine.
even know they were
very
coming.
Fine.
So.
Okay, so you were sitting up front. It sounds like it might have been a Jet Ranger or something.
Yeah.
And but you didn't care for the insecure feeling of
right when they lifted up. I'm like, man, but it happened so quick. I didn't have any time to think about it. I was in my office, and here's a helicopter landing, and they're here to take me for a ride. But it was something. But
it's one of those things. When I was a kid, I used to say, "Oh, come on, you got to go flying. It's the greatest. It's the greatest." Later on, I realized if it's not for you, it's not for you. Mm-hmm.
Because there's only like one nut holding that propeller on, right?
No, it's much more complicated than that. But I know what you're saying. But they have the metallurgy down pretty well.
Okay.
And I have never felt more secure and more safe anywhere in my life than when I was flying the helicopter at work for all those years. And I was pretty fortunate. I mean, I worked for it.
This was in cities?
Oh, yeah. I was taking graduate classes in broadcasting at Syracuse University at the Newhouse School, and I walked in off the street one day at the major radio station in town, WSYR, and I got an appointment with the general manager for the next morning. And it took a year of pitching, but finally they bought the helicopter, which was in Florida, and they paid for my flight training. And there's been only one guy in the joint history of broadcasting and helicopters that got that deal, and it was me.
Really?
I never even heard of anything like that.
Did they buy them or lease them?
No, this was a purchase.
Okay.
And this was a Robinson R-22, and in 1981, for serial number 31, in January of 81, they paid $63,250 for it and had less than 100 hours on it. That is something that you just could not do today, because now I think that there's somewhere around 190.
Wow.
It is a lot of fun. It's just a wonderful experience, and I loved every moment of it.
Wow.
Unfortunately, broadcasting has changed. You just can't do that anymore.
Right. Well, catch it live and they get one.
That would be when you're ready. Let me know.
We're looking at a gyrocopter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, that's a separate license. And what exactly would happen? The person would just fly around and say, "Everybody's heading to 13."
I got to tell. Right? I got to take a commercial break, but we're going to come back more with Duke Brooks here in just a few minutes. So, and I'll tell you about the gyrocopter we're looking at buying. Right. Okay, we'll be right back.
Do you have metal? Get it to Fitzgerald's Salvage and Recycling. Fitzgerald's pays you cash. Fitzgerald's will pick up your unwanted vehicles and will buy your car or lawnmower batteries. If it's made of metal, Fitzgerald's pays cash and recycles it, which helps the environment. Fitzgerald's will also pick up and deliver roll-off dumpsters, and they accept electronics too, including cell phones and computers. Fitzgerald's is local and family-owned since 1935. Go to fitzgeraldsonline.com or find us on Facebook.
When owning an Echo product, you will discover it's about innovation, not limitation. Southern States in Milford has your complete line of Echo chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers. At Southern States in Milford, try the PB250 blower with a 2-stroke engine, a locking latch that keeps the tube securely connected, and a rotational control which makes it easier to handle and reduce the stress on the operator's arm. Best of all, the power equipment is backed with a 5-year consumer warranty. Stop by Southern States in Milford at 7308 Williamsville Road or call 422-8066.
Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Wellers in Ellendale and Bridgeville, talking to you about this energy efficient eye heater. For only $177, you can get a heater that will heat 1,000 square feet on just pennies a day. So if you need some cheap heat, come on into Wellers in Ellendale or Bridgeville. Hey everybody, Jim Weller here from Wellers in Bridgeville and Ellendale, talking to you today about carports. We sell carports. They include delivery and setup right to your yard. You can get a 12 by 21 for as little as $695. Give us a call or come see us today.
Hey, this is Colin Walls of Walls Service Center in downtown Milford, letting you know we do all types of auto repairs, including brakes, struts and shocks, tune-ups and timing belts, and we specialize in custom exhausts. We've been in this business since 1958, so we understand what our customers' needs are. So if you're looking for a new repair shop, come to the old repair shop, Walls Service Center, Front Street in downtown Milford.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
Okay, folks, we're back with Duke Brooks, and we want to, again, extend an offer to come on out to Jimmy's Grill and have a free dessert with us tonight. I got to put the date with it. It's March 26, 2013. That is the only evening this offer is good for. So we were talking about helicopters. We're talking about Catch It Live possibly buying a gyrocopter, and we're going to teach Colin's son how to drive it. So, I don't know what we're going to do with it, but anyway, the helicopter is an amazing machine. It really
Yes, it is.
I mean,
Absolutely.
And it has probably done a lot of good things for a lot of people.
No question. Igor Sikorsky, who perfected the conventional design
Oh,
of the
really?
modern helicopter, yeah, he was a very interesting guy. Guy was a Russian immigrant. I think he was born in 1880 or something.
He came to the United States.
He came to the U.S. from Russia.
Okay.
Now, when he was in Russia, he was building airplanes.
Okay.
And he said that when he was 7 or 8 years old, he had a dream that he was flying over the water and he was inside a box with windows and he could look out and he could see, and he realized he was moving this is a dream he had when he was a young kid. And he went on to build airplanes. He immigrated to the United States. He built airplanes here. And in the 1920s and 30s is when gyrocopters were very, they were all the rage back then. There were newspapers. I think in Detroit, or maybe it was WJR. They had a gyrocopter that they flew around to gather news with. Brilliant, wonderful.
Really?
But yeah, a gyrocopter is different from a helicopter. In a helicopter, the engine powers the rotor system. In a gyrocopter, the main rotor overhead maintains its RPM just by wind blowing through it, and that wind is generated by the pusher.
So the gyrocopter, when it takes off,
like an airplane.
Okay.
Takes off
It's
like
got to
an
get
airplane.
rolling.
You got to get a little bit of
for that,
runway. Absolutely,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, very often the guys that fly them, you see them, they'll line up with the runway or a grass strip or whatever, and they will reach up and they'll manually give the rotor blades a little bit of a spin like that. Then they'll add the throttle, release the brakes, and then after a couple of 100 feet or whatever it is that day, then they'll be airborne. But they have to be flown very carefully, and I knew a guy that owned, his name was George. He lived out where Art Cudner lived in Graysonville, and Art had an airport on his property. His grandfather used to fly a Ford Trimotor in and out of there in the 1930s. They lived in Graysonville, right on the Chesapeake Bay, absolutely beautiful. But George had a gyrocopter, and he said they tell you over and over and over again which controls you can activate first when you're in flight if you want to descend. And in a helicopter or a gyrocopter, the control that the pilot uses to add or reduce power at the main rotor is called the collective, and the control that is a stick between the pilot's knees in an airplane, some people would call it a joystick. In a helicopter, it's called the cyclic pitch control. And at the end of the collective, which is like an emergency brake on a car, is a twist grip throttle, and you have two pedals that are called the anti-torque or the tail rotor pedals. They're never called the rudder pedals because there is no rudder in a helicopter.
Okay.
But to get it get hovering down takes many hours of practice.
Did you ever land on top of a building?
I don't think I've ever made a landing of that type, no.
I was thinking how nervous I would be having to land on top of a building, because if it fell off, it would just be a mess.
Well, it would be a mess.
And when you crash in the field, you're kind of only messing with yourself,
But, there are a couple of different factors, and that is that in any helicopter, in the pilot's operating handbook, which is a federally required document, there is something that's called the height velocity diagram, and it's just an engineering graph, and it's referred to by pilots as the dead man's curve, because we're all such a cheery lot, And what it shows is the combination of altitude above the ground and airspeed, where if the engine quits, you will not have enough inertia in the rotor system, enough time, and enough altitude to safely get on the ground. So you don't operate, excuse me, Jim, inside the shaded portion of what's known as the dead man's curve. You don't operate there. And if that happens, you could be in very serious trouble.
Because it's coming down fast.
Yeah, I mean, it does descend quickly, and every pilot has to practice what's known as an auto-rotation landing, which is if you're up there and, you'll have an instructor with you when you're going for your check ride or an FAA man or something like that, and normally you'll just be flying along 1,000 feet, 90 knots, everything's fine, and all of a sudden you'll hear him say, engine failure. And at that point, as the pilot that's getting the check ride or a student, you have to close the throttle on the end of the collective, which takes the engine out of the drivetrain. And you've got to push that collective all the way down, because if the pitch on the main rotor remains in a thrust-generating pair of angles like this, the rotor RPM will decay to nothing in a matter of a couple of seconds. So you've got to get that
level.
Absolutely, yeah. It still has in the Robinson.
Because you tilt it one way for one thing.
Yeah, well, that's directional. Yeah, what we're talking about now is if the engine quits, is what you have to do to maintain rotor RPM. You are coming down, but you're under control. And when you get to the bottom, the idea is to basically raise the nose and raise it as high as you need to stop your forward airspeed. And then when your airspeed is bled off to nothing, you're going to level it, and then it will begin descending, and you can then go ahead and use the collective to cushion your landing. It's a complicated thing, but once you've done it, it's, you practice it and you get good at it, and after a while...
That's the one thing you want to be real good at.
You better believe that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Duke, I'm going to say thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jim.
It has been a pleasure seeing you.
And I'll take that chocolate cream pie.
Sure, go ahead. All right, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. I got one more big announcement for you after this commercial, and then we're going to be back after that with Colin Walls and wrap up the show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Swing for the fence this softball baseball season with equipment from All Out Sports in Dagsboro. All Out Sports carries cleats, gloves, and balls, as well as helmets and hats. Pick out the right bat from our large selection that includes Easton, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Rocket Tech, and more. All Out Sports can handle all your sporting goods needs. Stop by to check out our new arriving merchandise or call All Out Sports at 732-1233. That's 732-1233. And be sure to like us on Facebook, All Out Sports, your local choice for sporting goods.
Jim Weller here for Catch It Live, and I'm so excited about all the opportunities this new year holds. If you have a business and you would like to see what Catch It Live could do for you, give me a call, Jim Weller, at 302-337-7300, or shoot me an email at jim@wellers.com, and let's get together and see what Catch It Live can do for you.
When a severe storm strikes, don't get caught without power. Rely on a Generac generator from Satterfield and Ryan, your electrical contractors. With a Generac generator, it immediately starts when the power goes out and will shut off when the power comes back on. Satterfield and Ryan sells the finest standby generators from 7 to 150 kilowatts. Satterfield and Ryan is your authorized dealer and repair center for Generac standby generators. Generac is also your source for all your residential, agricultural, and commercial generator needs. Visit Satterfield and Ryan's website at delawaregenerators.net. And remember, get the job done right the first time.
Abbott's Grill is a sure shot for a great happy hour every Monday through Saturday from 3 to 7 p.m. Tip off your night with freshly shucked oysters from our raw bar for only 50 cents each. Or try a half pound of delicious steamed shrimp for only $6.95. Happy hour also features $4 orange crushes, $2 PBR drafts, and $1 off all draft beers, rail drinks, and house wines. With the best selection of local and national craft beers, 17 screens for sports, and live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights, Abbott's Grill is the place to be for a fun night out with friends. Abbott's Grill, 249 Northeast Front Street in Milford. Gather at the grill.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Catch It Live. We've had a really good show. I really enjoyed talking to Dr. T. I just like listening to Anthony. Duke Brooks really enlightened us on some things. And,
that's been that whole helicopter airplane stuff is very interesting. I like helicopters. Airplanes, but helicopters.
You like helicopters more than airplanes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then you need to go up in one.
And I like them all a lot better than hot
air. It was.
I want to be able to steer when I go up in the air.
Okay. Well, good luck with all that.
You just don't like going up in the air at all, do you?
I'd rather not.
Stay grounded.
Stay grounded. So anyway, we've had a good show. Want to make sure I explain to everybody, we have a couple things cooking. So we do the show here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7:30. We want to say a big thank you to Jimmy's Grill and all the staff here. They do a great job. Also want to thank the people that help us behind the scenes. We've got Brooks Ritter. He does a fantastic job. We've got Grant, who has come along and been a real asset to us.
Co-executive producer.
That's what he is. He's the co-executive producer.
There we go.
And Colin Walls does a good job of getting everything together.
What do I do?
I'm not sure, but you do a good job of it.
Yes, I do.
And
I actually had to work today too, so I didn't. Bless you.
Oh my goodness!
It's almost an entire day I had to work today.
Really?
Too. Yeah. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Would you go in at noon, take an hour for lunch, and
got off at 1?
Go home at 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was rough.
It was rough. But anyway,
I want to say,
okay, go ahead.
Get well, Josh. Josh is my main man at Wall Service Center that really does a good job taking care of all the customers. He's the customer service manager. He's the shop foreman. He does the invoicing. He does everything.
He unlocks the door?
No, I unlock the door. I go and open up every morning.
Okay.
So, but he locks it at night.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
But anyway, he was off sick today. That's why I had to work so hard.
You really learned to appreciate him.
Yes, that's right. So get well very soon, Josh. Very soon.
By 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be fine.
That would be great.
Yeah. But anyway, a couple other things. You know, we do the show every Tuesday night here live. And we want to invite you, if you'd like to be on the show or learn more about it, give me a call, 337-7300. Toll free for me would be 1-302-337. Did you get that toll free?
I don't think most people get that.
No, it's toll free for me. Is if you dial 1-302-337-7300. So give me a call if you want to talk about Catch It Live, if you want to be involved. We are looking for more people to help with technical things. We're looking for people that we might want to allow to do interviews with us. Interview people, not interview us. We have no more to offer.
No, we're not that interesting.
We're not that interesting. But we are going to start doing this show at Abbott's Grill here in the near future in Milford. We're going to do that on Wednesday nights. Then we have another place we're thinking about maybe doing something on Saturday mornings. Maybe. Okay, don't say nothing about it.
And then, well, let's kind of go through some of the things.
We're thinking about buying one of the old Lewis ferries. Our own show.
Turn it into a gambling boat. So we've got Jimmy's Grill here Tuesday night.
Correct.
Then we're going to do Abbott's Grill on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
And then we're going to build a studio.
Oh, I forgot about that. Don't tell them where. Let's keep it a secret for right now.
Okay.
Okay.
We were going to do it okay.
What? Where?
You think we ought to let Dover Downs know first before we start building it there?
Before we go blowing in there.
All right, so we'll do that. But we're going to build a studio, so we're going to have kind of a permanent setup that we can do that. Plus, we can take it on the road when we need to. We've got a couple events coming up. We're going to be broadcasting the 38th Republican Party's, what is it, a dinner? Or
I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure what it is either.
You have the flyer.
I don't have the
flyer. You lost the flyer.
they threw the flyer out on me as I was
Okay.
cleaning up. So, Phil Drew, I will be getting up with you as soon as I get your phone number.
Yeah, Phil. So if you're watching, call us and give us your phone number.
That's right. So, but anyway, yes, we'll be doing that, and we got a couple other events coming up that I don't know that we can even talk about yet. But
Yeah,
but yeah, it's getting pretty interesting.
it is.
Not to
So,
mention the helicopter,
not to mention the gyrocopter.
gyrocopter.
But anyway, if you want to be involved in any way, shape, or form, if you have some ideas for us, right now everything we're kind of doing it at no charge. If you could help us figure out how not to do it at no charge, we're also open-minded to that. So, but we're just having so much fun. So we're just
our Wednesday show. Brian Shoup. Brian Shoup is
Milford
one of
Live.
the owners of Milford Live and the Milford
Yes.
Review newspaper. He is going to be a part of that, and we're working out the details of how
Right.
he's going to be a part of it. But he's going to be a pretty integral part of it, and so that's going to be interesting. He brings a really news perspective
Yes,
to
he
it.
does.
So, yeah,
Yes.
they've got their newspaper's doing really well.
Yes, it is.
And it is an online-only newspaper, and he is very committed to Milford and making things grow in Milford and making things happen. As a
And he
matter
does
of
a good
fact,
job.
he's running for city council.
Milford City
Yeah.
Councilman.
So
That'll be interesting too.
he's a busy man.
He's a busy man. Yep. Now, when we go to Milford, the show's going to be in Kent County.
It will be. So this will be our Sussex County show.
Correct.
Abbott's will be our
Kent County.
Kent County show, and then
We're going to have to go to Newcastle County.
right. So I'm thinking the waterfront in Wilmington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right on the riverfront there in
Right out
Wilmington.
there?
Yep.
Okay.
So
All right. You get
I'll
that
ride
all
with
worked
you.
out.
I'll
You'll ride with me.
You drive. I'll get the easy
Okay.
pass.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take our gyrocopter.
That's right.
Here they come.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so we have a lot going on. We're looking for some input. We're looking for some people that want to work with us, help us out, and help guide us, or just physically carry our bags, whichever. So
That would be a big help. Right
that'll be
there.
a big help. We're going to be back Friday morning. Dan Gaffney does his show live. I hear there's going to be a surprise appearance by the Reminders.
Reminders, yes.
Friday
Yep.
morning here at
Great
Jimmy's
local
Grill.
group.
Yep, they do a great job. Kevin Short and everybody else there. I'm looking for some more friends on Facebook. I'm in the 1,900 and some. I really want to break that 2,000 mark in the year of 2000.
You want me to friend you?
Sure, if you would,
Okay,
please.
all right.
Okay, I keep
See if I
sending you
can
a
find
friend
you on there.
request. So I'm looking for some more friends.
Ignore.
Just let it through
You
one
don't
time.
Leave me alone.
Nest Church in Milton, and not my church, as if I own it or anything.
Oh, you don't own it?
I don't own it.
Oh, well, they ought to take that big Weller's
They ought to.
sign off the side of it.
But anyway, a lot of people, if you're looking for a church, we'd love to have you there at Eagles Nest, 9:30. And if you have kids, we got plenty of things going on for kids. And that's about all I got. You got anything else?
I think that's about it. I've
We
had it
desperately
for the
need
day.
some business at
Yes.
Weller's in Bridgeville. We are officially, as of right now, we have sold, how do I explain this? We sold 257 trailers this time last year.
Okay. So from January 1st
to whatever
to
now.
March 26th of last
Right.
year, you sold how many?
257.
All right. And this year, from January 1st to March 26th, you've sold?
127.
You're behind.
We are off by half. We are doing half the business we did last year, so far this year.
And
And
working
if you ask
twice as
everybody
hard to
that works
promote
for me-
yourself.
right, working twice as hard to promote
Yeah.
the company. And if you ask everybody that works for me, are you working half as hard as you used to since there's half the business? Brooks, holler out the answer.
Absolutely not.
He's busy. So
Yeah.
it's tough. I
It
don't
is.
care what the news says.
I don't either.
I deal in reality. I don't deal in what the news says. And I'm telling you, as a local businessman in Sussex County, Delaware, we can't seem to drive a nail straight. I don't know what's up. So, and I don't want anybody to spend money that they shouldn't.
Right.
That's the thing. We're not like a car dealership where we're going to talk you into it. We're going to encourage you to deal with us and buy from us and appreciate your business.
By the way, H.G. Wilson would never do that.
Talk you into it. No, he would.
No.
He would just, let it be your decision.
Exactly.
HG does a good job. So
I'm not
anyway,
talking about you.
right? We're not talking about you, HG. So every other car dealer. But anyway, what we're saying is we really would appreciate some business if anybody out there would like to buy anything that we sell. You don't need to drop off blank checks. We're not receiving donations or anything. We just need some business. We'd like the opportunity to earn your business. So other than that, we want to thank you for watching tonight's show. If you are one of our steady watchers, viewers, and we have many that constantly watch the shows and tell their friends about it, thank you for that. We do have a lot of fun with Catch It Live, and we're looking forward to being here. And if you want to be on the show, just give me a call, 337-7300.
I'm
We're
done.
good?
Yeah, I'm done for the day.
I'm done too. So
had to work too
happy
hard.
anniversary to my wife, Denise.
Happy anniversary.
For me, being married to her has just been like 35 years of joy, happiness, and bliss. And for her, it's probably been like a 35-year-long stress test. But anyway, she's done a good job of putting up
So
with
far,
it.
she's passing.
So far, she's passing. So anyway, happy anniversary, Denise.
Oh, I do want to say that we are preparing for my fourth child.
Yes.
It's going to be the fourth boy. And
It's a boy?
It is a boy.
Wow.
We are scheduled for a
That's a lot of
C-section.
testosterone.
We are scheduled for a C-section. Yeah, and we've got a male dog too. So my
Really?
poor wife is the only female in the house. Can't even catch a break on the pet. So April 11th, we're scheduled for a C-section. So we'll see what that means for Catch It Live. They wanted to do it on the 9th. And I said, nope, we've got Catch It Live that night. So we scheduled for. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
No. What we actually volunteered to do was catch the delivery live.
Well, that's what I said.
Right.
I said it's a C-section, so it's just cut it, belly.
Right. It's like going to Rehoboth.
Yeah.
I meant the beach. It's like going to the beach. All right. So you're going to have your fourth child.
Brooks, edit that out, please.
Edit that out, Brooks, immediately.
So anyway, yes, that's what we're preparing for. So
have you enjoyed the day with no rain?
I have enjoyed the day with no rain. Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yep, it is.
All right.
All right, it's time to get out of here.
Yep. Good night, everybody. Thanks again to Jimmy's Grill, and thanks to all the people that watch the show and help us behind the scenes. So God bless you. Have a good night, and we will see you Friday morning.
5:30.
5:30. Be here
AM.
or be square.
That's right.